they could relate with it and how difficult, I mean, it brought back their life experiences to them?
I feel first of all great, because that gives me courage to do something more on that note. I'm a comfortable actor now. I'm at a stage where I am not wanting to prove it to anybody that I can act. I did that in my first film. So I got over my fear of performance in my early stages. But then still you want to be constantly do something which is very important to you, which world thinks of you very good. But in the last 5-7 years, especially after I went to New York, I discovered there is so much you can do without actually doing it. If you feel right, you convey right. Signature is about this man whose wife is in life support, and he has to decide whether she will be, he should remove and sign that DNR paper. There is a cinema acting, and there is a acting which you feel where people identify with you. Strangely, both the characters of Vijay 69 and Arvind of Signature are completely different people, but both of them are believable. So I think that is what a triumph of an actor is, and that can only happen when you don't have fear of failure. Because actors remain mediocre because they have this fear of failure. So they walk on a path which is already walked by somebody else. I don't have any fear of failure, because I feel that what will maximum happen? People will say it was not great. Doesn't matter, out of 542 films, at least I can say 50 films of mine were very good. And again, I want to say that I'm not saying it arrogantly. I'm saying it out of knowledge of having done these kind of films. So Signature, when people come to me, they identify, because to play ordinary characters and people identify me is the most difficult thing. To play characters where there is something or the other attributions, that he's an angry man, he has some quirks or something like that, it's not very difficult to do that. Like Khosla Ka Khosla is the most difficult character, because he's like millions of middle class people in the world. Arvind of Signature is like millions of middle class people. Middle class, to perform a real middle class person on a big screen or on a small screen is the most difficult thing.
I wanted to come to that part next. When I personally saw both these films, I thought they should have released on the theatre. And why didn't it come out? It came out on OTT. Did you feel like that? Did you feel that...
I feel actors do want to see themselves on big screen. At least I come from that world where we became actors, or I became an actor seeing the film on a big screen. And I have done films, Karma or any other film, big film, Hum Aapke Hain Kaun, Dilwale Dulhania Le Jayenge, Hum, and all this, they look good on big screen, or even my English language films. But the reach that OTT platform gives you is phenomenal. It goes to 194 countries. It gets translated, subtitled. So a film about ordinary people has an extraordinary reach when they are on OTT platform. But it's not in my hands. If I was the producer, I would have said that, okay, maybe you can try first in cinema halls and then bring it to OTT, which is the norm. But I'm happy that they were released on Zee and Netflix. They have an amazing reach. From all over the world, people messaged, called, relatives, friends who have not spoken to me for years. They said, "Arey, Vijay 69 mein to aapne kamal kar diya." I think Kamal Kar Diya is also not necessarily as an actor, but they identify with the character also. Both these characters are very ordinary.
You're giving a whole new lease of life to people in this generation, or in this age group, I'd say, both. People put number to an age and said that, oh, you slow down at this age, oh, you have to take a back seat, and life is not as hunky-dory as it was in your youth. But you're turning the tide in that way also, and telling people that nothing stops you as long as you don't stop yourself.
Sorry, I did not let you finish your question, but I do not know on what basis my father kept my name Anupam in 1955. But then I think somewhere I wanted to justify that Anupam means incomparable, जिसकी उपमा ना हो. तो मैं अगर वो सब नहीं करूँगा तो आप ऐसे सवाल कैसे करेंगे? मुझे कुछ ना कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा. हम अपनी बाउंड्रीज खुद ही बांध लेते हैं. अनफॉर्चुनेटली हम अपने आप को खुद ही मीडियोकर कर देते हैं. हम अनलेस यू सी हाउ मच कैन यू स्ट्रेच योर सेल्फ, हाउ विल यू नो यू आर केपेबल ऑफ सो मच. पीपल फील कंफर्टेबल कि हमने इसको स्लॉट कर दिया, ये ऐसे है, ये ऐसे है, ये कैरेक्टर एक्टर है, ये. आई हैव ऑलवेज ट्रीटेड माई सेल्फ एज ए हीरो. Hero is somebody who does something exceptional. You understand? Hero is not necessarily who has hair and who looks in a certain manner and who sings and dances. Of course, they are also heroes. But for me, who is an educated actor, the definition of a hero is who does make a difference in people's lives.
So that is a very prominent characteristic in you. I think that always comes out. At 28, you were playing a 64-year-old man. Now at 70, you're playing these characters, but in a whole new way. Also, how many of your contemporaries can have one film after the other where you're playing the main lead?
By challenging myself. It's not easy. As you said in the beginning of the thing, that I am a certain age. Physicality is difficult, but I love it. I enjoy challenging myself. I enjoy, if I don't do that, as I said to you earlier, that you will not ask me this question. I don't accept what life offers you. I want to take charge of life. I want to decide what I'm going to do. I don't want other to decide this has happened. We do that to our parents. Unfortunately, when my father retired at the age of 55 or 50, I think 55, he went through a retirement depression for 3 years. Then he sort of took charge of himself and he started walking all over the place. He used to go to villages, etc. हम हमेशा already बना देते हैं. जैसे ही रिटायर होता है तो मेरा एक फिल्म में डायलॉग था कि मैं नौकरी से रिटायर हुआ हूँ, जिंदगी से रिटायर नहीं हुआ हूँ. I have the luxury of being from a profession where age does not retire you.
And thank you for talking about the physicality aspect, because you post these videos of you working out. We've seen you a certain way in the first half of your career. Suddenly you've shed all that weight. You're looking younger. Even the way you're dressing.
I am enjoying being Anupam Kher. For many years when I was running, I wanted to prove to the world, भाई मैं लोअर मिडिल क्लास से आया हूँ, मैं छोटे शहर से आया हूँ, मेरे को अंग्रेज़ी मीडियम से मैं नहीं आया हूँ, मैं हिंदी मीडियम का हूँ और मैं अच्छा एक्टर हूँ. तो बहुत सारे साल उसी में निकल गए. अब मुझे पता है मैं कौन हूँ और मेरे को कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता मुझे अंग्रेज़ी में बोलना आता है कि नहीं आता है. आई थिंक सक्सेस डज दैट टू यू, ऑल्सो लाइफ डज दैट टू यू. अब मुझे कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता. नाउ आई वॉन्ट टू वर्क on myself, and if I want to be the hero that I'm trying to be, the lead actors, I have to physically be fit. In Vijay 69, it was not easy to learn swimming at the age of 68. In Vijay 69, it was not easy to do cycling so much and to run. And in movies, you know that it's not आपने एक shot दे दिया, एक टेक दे दिया और ख़त्म हो गया. You have to do the same thing again and again. You have to swim again and again for the same shot. And I broke my shoulder. It came out of its socket. But what traumas and what turbulations and what difficulties you go through while doing something, later on they became your stories. कि मैंने कंधा टूटा अपना शूटिंग करते वक्त, या जब मैं उसकी शूटिंग कर रहा था लोग मुझे सारांश में पहचानते नहीं थे मैं कौन था, या जब मेरा दिवालिया निकल गया था जब मैं टाइकून बनना चाहता था. सो आई थिंक, आई बिलीव इन इट that what does not happen in your life is good, because later on the same things become these legendary stories of your life. That I was not selected for Nehru's role in Gandhi, it became a story. For my own self, that I slept on platforms. It was trauma at that time. I mean, sleeping on a platform or on the beach, on a newspaper, it was tough. But today when I look back, I am telling you stories about that time. So I think if the world gets encouraged and inspired, it's a beautiful feeling.
So I want to talk about your directorial film next.
It's too early to talk about
I
that.
know, but I have to, for the reason that I have learned from a lot of insiders in the industry, whosoever knows of the film, have great things to say about it. I know it's too early, but since people are watching you on Republic.
So Tanvi the Great is the name of the film that I have directed. I directed my earlier film Om Jai Jagdish 22 years back. It was not my story, it was Rahul Nanda's story. But I tried to do as decent a job as I could. Unfortunately, on that year, only Vikram Bhatt's Raz did very well. I think cinema was transitioning and it didn't do commercially very well. And then I did not make any film, and a story came my way 3-4 years back, and it really inspired me, and I wanted to tell this story to the world. So I wrote the script along with 2 other writers, Abhishek and Ankur, and I think the way I have looked at it now, it can be an important film of our times. Everybody says that, but that's why I said it's too early to say. It has amazing music by M.M. Keeravani sir. It has some great team. We have 2 Oscar winners in it, Karim sir and Rasool Pukuti. I have a DOP, director of photography, who is a Japanese brilliant Keiko Nakahara. We have wonderful team. I've not announced the actors. So when the time comes, I would be very proudly speaking about this film.
Okay, so I know it has not been announced full-fledgedly, but I got a whiff of it, so I think it is breaking news for our viewers. There is this film that you're going to be directing after Tanvi the Great, The Return.
Yes.
Which is an India-Australia co-production.
Yes.
I am right.
You are absolutely right. That's why you are a journalist from Republic.
Thank you. Please do tell us about that.
So we are at Goa right now. Australia was the focus country for the International Film Festival of India, and I had been working on a story. I am never resting. I like to work. I love working, because when you have been on the streets for 3 years, then you tell God, I will never stop working. And this is my earlier time before I got Saransh. So I had been working on a film called The Return, very interesting story, and then I requested a friend of mine that I would like to meet certain people. If the Australian government, which is very helpful to films and otherwise also, if it goes through, then I think hopefully by the end of next year, around the end of next year, I will start my next film. There's a joy of directing a film. I discovered that while doing Tanvi the Great. It's like, because I am not kind of a career director. I'm not a director. I like to act. But I discovered while doing Tanvi the Great, that it's so amazing to make a film which you believe in, which the story you want to share with the rest of the world. Then you create something, and you create it's like a child. It's like creating a baby. And then you suddenly see working the story out of it. So for whatever years that I'm going to work, I will be also wanting to direct films as much as I can. And big inspiration comes from Clint Eastwood, who's at the age of 93 also directing a film. And I can understand why he wants to direct, because it stimulates you. You are constantly obsessed with it. Tanvi the Great, I was obsessed for 1 year with the film, with the music, with the dialogues, with the screenplay, everything. So The Return is going to be that film, and it's when things materialize, then I think it will be a great. Also, I want to make films about India, which are international films, which is about emerging India. Means filmmakers who have made issue-based Indian films, and that they have done well abroad, which is fine, it's important. But I think there is a side to India which is brilliant, which is very amazing, which is of developed India, which has other own issues. I want to make films about that India, and yet they can be international standards. My staying in New York for 3 years for that New Amsterdam really opened me up and my horizons also.
I was just going to come to that. So two things, since you've mentioned New Amsterdam. A, there were great lessons to learn while you were working on New Amsterdam, is what you've said, in their style of working. Secondly, you've also been doing great work after you've come back to India,
Yes.
post New Amsterdam. When we were previously having that conversation, you were also mentioning to me that the kind of environment you created on your set of Tanvi the Great, so many came and told you that we've not seen this in the Indian context or on an Indian film set. So really, what learnings you take? How are you executing it while you work here?
Whenever I'm pushed to the wall, then the person who emerges is very courageously attractive. What happened that when I was shooting my series in America, I discovered what a joy it is to collect a team which knows their job. Sometimes when I feel that we don't do that. So I collected not only unbelievably professionally brilliant team, but also wonderful people. That gives you courage. So we became a family, and they said everybody should come together and work towards trying to make a good film. Nobody decides. When you decide to make a great film, it will never be a great film because you're constantly trying to work on it. You just try to make a good film which can become great later on. So that was helped because I was working in New Amsterdam with brilliant actors, technicians, writers. So that it made me evolved as a person, and that's what I have applied in my work also. When I came back from New York, I had to come, and unfortunately Kiran was with cancer. The cancer is in remission now. But I did my best work. I think Kashmir Files, Unchai, Kartike, Signature, New Amsterdam ke baad ye Vijay 69. I have Kangana's film coming, Emergency. I have Anurag Basu's film Metro in Dino coming, and I also have Tanvi the Great coming. So it's if you don't learn, if you don't evolve yourself, then what is the idea of living?
In the India Today Best Universities 2023 survey, India's #1 ranked universities in various streams are JNU Delhi, Amity University, AIMS Delhi, IIT Delhi and National Law School Bengaluru.
आंदोलन पहले भी होते थे, आंदोलन आज भी होते हैं, लेकिन पिछले कुछ समय से एक बहुत बड़ा बदलाव आप सभी महसूस कर रहे होंगे। भारत की संविधान की भावनाओं के उसे कुचल दिया जाता है। लोकतंत्र की सारी मान मर्यादाओं को अस्वीकार किया जाता है। जो लोग सत्ता को अपना जन्मसिद्ध अधिकार समझते हैं, उनके पास केंद्र की सत्ता पिछले 1 दशक से वो खो चुके हैं। अब पहले दिन से देश की जनता किसी और को आशीर्वाद दे, इसका गुस्सा जनता के ऊपर भी है। इस स्थिति ने उनके अंदर इतना गुस्सा भर दिया है कि वो देश के खिलाफ साजिश करने में जुटे हैं। ये लोग अपना गुस्सा जनता पर ही निकालने लगे हैं। देश को गलत दिशा में ले जाने के लिए उन्होंने लोगों को गुमराह करना शुरू कर दिया है।
You feel very passionately about the state of affairs in the country, and you come out also to put out your position on it on social media. But sometimes you also hold back, or sometimes you take a social media break. Is that a conscious pattern?
I do that. Look, again, people like to slot you because when you talk about the country, they want to say that, oh, he's political. Because people want to feel comfortable with themselves. I have never, if I have an admiration for the leader who is taking my country to another heights and levels, then I think it's a brilliant feeling. So whenever I've spoken about, that's what I was taught, to tell the truth, however discomforting it is. Because I want to be popular with myself first, then with the rest of the world. I don't want to either smart enough sometimes to now not talk about certain things, but I have always spoken about the country. Now people have the habit of sort of putting you in slots, so they say, oh, he is talking about this party, or his wife is a BJP or was a BJP member of parliament, so he is more of BJP kind of a guy. So I am raised as a Hindu person. I'm raised among the chants of Mahamrityunjay Path or Hanuman Chalisa. So I do put a tilak, or I don't sort of hide myself from that. So I do speak about it. I'm a religious person in terms of that I pray every day. But I'm not, I have great respect for other religions. I speak about India freely, and it makes a difference to a lot of people, because we need to speak about our own country. Today, India is the most emerging, amazing power. And why has it happened that way? In the last 10 years, certain things have happened. The way Mr. Narendra Modi has represented the country worldwide is unbelievable. I love it when his pictures, when we have G20 or we have SAARC or something like that, and he is in the center of things. When did that happen last? So if I have an admiration for my Prime Minister, who is elected democratically, people confuse it with he has a certain line of thought. I will always want to speak about my country, because my country is 8 years older than me. India was born in 1947, I was born in 1955. We've both grown up together. We have both seen ups and downs of the country, and I am protective towards my country. Today's generation may not show their patriotism or nationalism, but I find them very patriotic and things like that in their own manner, because somehow or the other in the last few years we have all become aspirational. So I deal with, I think what rules I applied at my home, I apply it to my country also. So if people get confused about it and they want to have their own issues about that, that's too bad for them. I am going to be like this.
So the other side to you, which is that you've always shared your story to inspire people. You always talk about the difficulties that you've come across in life, and you want to impart knowledge. Now that also comes in the form of Actor Prepares.
And my books.
And your books. And the Guru Kher avatar, which is very seriously a part of you, because you want to share your life lessons with people.
Yeah.
But I believe you wanted to take that in a more organized format, but I believe your films have taken over. What is it?
Where have you done your research? Huh? I want to start. No, I think it's very important. My father used to say the easiest thing in the world is to make somebody happy. You can only do that when you are happy yourself. And happiness is practice. You have to practice to be happy. And then you are happy, then I can make you happy or people happy. You cannot make other people happy if you yourself are unhappy. And all the books that I have written, 3 books, writing on my 4th book now. They are about lessons life taught me. They are about all that. So then I thought that it will be interesting to have a course of life, and this is also breaking news for you, which I am going to start very soon. I have been working on it for the last 9 to 10 years, and that will be launched very soon, because I think we are living in a world where you are being made to feel that somebody else is doing better than you. To anybody. You are made to feel insufficient, that you are not, because we are putting up our best life on our social medias. You hardly see unhappy people on social media, but that doesn't mean that you are not unhappy. So you feel weak, people feel insecure, and where do they draw their strength from? The strength has to be drawn from your own self. So if I come up with something where you will feel that I am strong enough, I am optimistic enough, I'm happy enough, and it's okay to feel low, it's okay to feel down and out, it's okay to indulge in self-pity. So then it will make a difference. And I think it's time to give to the world what I have learned, because this world has given me, this industry, this world, these people have given me so much. A small town boy from Shimla has come to Bombay and is talking in International Film Festival of India to you about my life. And what a life! 542 films, 40 years means, and I have seen my ups and downs. So I think it's important to share what this world has given me, what India has given me, what cinema has given me, what people have given me, what people have taught me. It's important to share that.
Even the stories that you share on social media, the encounters that you have with the most normal, common people, but the way you tell their story, you make it extraordinary.
Everybody is extraordinary. मेरी simple सी theory है इसके बारे में, that you are born extraordinary. You are born different. That's why your fingerprint does not match with anybody in the world. So that means you were born with, and then life makes you mediocre, or life takes over, it takes over your life and you become what you become, or your own fears make you. He wants money because he has to go back home and sort of provide to his family. I am a people's person. I love people and I enjoy their company. I'm comfortable with who I am. And when you're comfortable with who you are, you can look the extraordinariness of other people also.
So at this stage, with all the success, with all the awards, and again Vijay 69 among the top 5 on Netflix, how much does success still excite you? Or failure still bother you?
I'm very happy to be successful, but I'm a successful person. Look, I have been enough, I've seen enough over here, people. Success can't be measured. Somebody else is always doing better than you, as I said to you. If I compare to Mr. Bachchan, maybe then I'm not as successful as him. If I compare to Brad Pitt, I'm not. But if I compare to Anupam Kher, that what a journey. What a journey for that small town boy. It's unbelievable. But I'm a successful person because I'm okay with who I am. I'm comfortable with who I am. That is the biggest success. But that doesn't mean that I don't like adulation. I like awards, adulation. I'm making these films. I want the film, I want Tanvi the Great to be the best film made because we put in that hard work. I feel that Vijay 69 and Signature are both amazing films. I feel the kind of work that I'm doing is phenomenal in terms of, because I'm pushing my own boundaries. I love success. I love success because people come to me and say, "Rafseh ji, हमने आपका वीडियो देखा, आप बड़ा अच्छा काम करते हो." मुझे कितने सारे लोग मिलते हैं एयरपोर्ट पे, यहाँ पे वो. It's so strange and so I'm so thankful. They don't only talk about my films. They talk about the person that I am. They talk about that you inspire us. इससे बड़ी ग्रेटिफिकेशन और क्या हो सकती है. और फियर ऑफ फेलियर मुझे कभी था ही नहीं, बिकॉज व्हेन आई वाज इन 9th grade माय फादर टोल्ड मी फेलियर इज एन इवेंट, नेवर अ पर्सन. because I had failed in some exam or something like that, I had got less marks. So when your own father at the age of 14 takes away the fear of failure, then you are a king in the world. And somehow I see my life as my autobiography. I see my life कि ये मेरी story चल रही है. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary is that little extra. Yes. You have to discipline your life. You have to not be lazy in your thinking. Because जैसे कि एक विजय 69 की बड़ी कमाल की लाइन है कि सपनों की कोई एक्सपायरी डेट नहीं होती है.
सपनों की ना कोई एक्सपायरी डेट नहीं होती.
तो सपनों की कोई एक्सपायरी डेट नहीं होती है. And the more you dream, the more you can sort of really achieve. And according to me, all dreams come true if you work hard and be honest.
Thank you so much for speaking to us.
You're very good, I must say. I loved talking to you.
Thank you. Thank you for speaking to us.
सॉरी डॉक्टर. बनी, सफीना, शादी कैसी चल रही है?
मैं बताएगी. आइस बोला था लाने को, लद्दाख चला गया. पूछा फोन पे इतना बिजी क्यों है, तो क्या बोला तू? हाँ, माउंटेन्स वर कॉलिंग. इतना पहाड़ों के साथ गुलू गुलू करेगा तो धोप तुएंगी ना इसको.
डॉक्टर जहांगीर, मैं उड़ना चाहता हूँ, दौड़ना चाहता हूँ, बस इस घर में रुकना नहीं चाहता.
बट क्यों?
उस दिन सनसेट देखने छज्जे पे चढ़ा, टूट गया. I don't feel safe.
हाँ, तू किसने बोला घर की दीवार पे रॉक क्लाइंबिंग करने को?
सफीना, बदतमीजी.
समझ गया. मेरे पास आप दोनों की प्रॉब्लम की मेडिसिन है. इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा.
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं. रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड.
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग शिप भी बन सकती है.
Don't get me right. Are the Muslims as a community coming out of the shadows of ulama? Have the Muslim women and the community youth decided to let politics become secular finally? Also, a focus on the national shame of Delhi breathing poison for a month every winter. For how long the political establishment would surrender to the stubble burning mafia? And finally, a look at the phenomenon of tech bros, the bunch of tech billionaires who have their fingers on the future of human civilization. Join me this weekend only on Republic TV.
And let's start first up with news that's coming in from the state of Maharashtra. A meet of Mahayuti that is likely to take place tomorrow evening. BJP observers will come from the national capital to attend this meet in Mumbai that is expected to take place tomorrow. Sources have also said that swearing-in ceremony is likely to take place on December 5th at Azad Maidan in Mumbai. So while speculation was rife that the oath-taking ceremony could take place on 2nd of December, sources now tell us that oath-taking is likely to take place on the 5th of December. So while that meet of the Mahayuti that is expected to take place tomorrow, we're getting details regarding the swearing-in ceremony as well that is expected to take place in days from now on the 5th of December as per sources. So the meeting of Mahayuti that was scheduled to take place today was deferred. The meet will now take place on Sunday, which is tomorrow. Sources also tell us about the oath-taking ceremony of Mahayuti 2.0, which is likely to take place on 5th of December. Let's go across to Satya Prakash, who is joining us live with more details. Satya Prakash, earlier speculation was rife that the oath-taking ceremony was to take place on the 2nd. We are now given to understand that the oath-taking ceremony will take place on the 5th of December.
देखिए समीक्षा शाह महायुति की तरफ से पूरी तरह तैयारी कर लिया गया है और जो पोर्टफोलियो का जो विवाद है लगभग खत्म होते हुए दिखाई दे रहा है। थोड़ी देर पहले हमारी शिवसेना के कई नेताओं से बात हुई है और उन्होंने कहा कि जो विवाद था वो लगभग खत्म हो चुका है। पोर्टफोलियो को लगभग सारी चीज़ों को लेकर हमारी जो चर्चा थी लगातार हो रही है और मंडे को बीजेपी के जो पर्यवेक्षक है, जो ऑब्जर्वर है, वो मुंबई आएंगे और जो बीजेपी का विधायक दल का जो मीटिंग होगा उसमें विधायक दल की मीटिंग होगी। उसके बाद फिर महायुति के जो नेता हैं वो बैठेंगे और जो बताया जा रहा है कि 5 दिसंबर को महाराष्ट्र के मुख्यमंत्री जो है आज़ाद मैदान, मुंबई के आज़ाद मैदान में शपथ लेंगे। तो कहीं न कहीं सारी चीज़ें तय हो चुकी है। 2 तारीख यानी मंडे को यहाँ पर बीजेपी का मुंबई में मीटिंग होगी और विधायकों को बुलाया जाएगा और विधायकों की मीटिंग में सीएम का नाम का अनाउंस बीजेपी की तरफ से किया जाएगा। तो कहीं न कहीं सारी चीज़ों को विराम लग गया है और जो चर्चाएं थी उस कहीं न कहीं जो पोर्टफोलियो को लेकर वो चल रही है।
जी सत्य प्रकाश, एक फॉलो अप क्वेश्चन, अगर हम प्लम पोर्टफोलियोज की बात करें, कह रहे हैं कि शिवसेना भी आय कर रहा है कि उनको होम मिनिस्ट्री डिपार्टमेंट चाहिए, उस पर कुछ कंसेंसस बन पाया है शिवसेना और बीजेपी के बीच में?
देखिए समीक्षा, जो शिवसेना की तरफ से जो अमित शाह के साथ मीटिंग हुई थी, एकनाथ शिंदे के साथ में, उसमें ये बातें कही गई थी कि होम मिनिस्ट्री, पीडब्ल्यूडी और अर्बन डेवलपमेंट जो है मंत्रालय हमें मिले। इन्हीं तीनों चीज़ों को लेकर लगातार डिमांड किया जा रहा था। एक बात और सामने आई थी कि विधानसभा स्पीकर का भी शिवसेना की तरफ से मांग किया गया था, लेकिन अभी तक बीजेपी की तरफ से हाँ नहीं कहा गया। लेकिन शिवसेना की तरफ से अब कहा जा रहा है कि जो हमारी मांगे थी, जो बातें थी हमने जो रखी थी, लगभग हमारी बातें मान ली गई हैं। लेकिन ये नहीं बता रहे हैं कि होम मिनिस्ट्री को लेकर बात हुई है, जो उस पर फैसला हुआ है, या जो अन्य डिपार्टमेंट मांगा गया था उस पर फैसला हुआ है। उनका कहना है कि मंडे को सारी चीज़ें क्लियर हो जाएगी। महायुति की बैठक होने वाली है संडे के देर रात में और मंडे को जो है बीजेपी है उसकी विधायक दल की मीटिंग होने वाली है। जी
All right, Satya Prakash, we leave it at that. We will keep coming back to you, but Satya Prakash getting us important details that the oath-taking ceremony is likely to take place on 5th of December. Let's now switch focus to the state of Uttar Pradesh in Sambhal, where probe is being carried out by the Judicial Commission over the riots that broke out on the 24th of November. And while the probe is being carried out by the Judicial Commission, the 3-member commission that's been formed, a Samajwadi Party delegation that is adamant on visiting the riot-hit district. Reactions coming in from the UP ministers, Deputy Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, who says that criminals are being shielded by the Samajwadi Party. And these are criminals who resorted to arson and vandalism on the 24th of November in Sambhal district when videography of the mosque was being carried out.
देखिए, समाजवादी पार्टी के मुखिया अखिलेश यादव जी को अपने गिरेबान में झांकना चाहिए। संभल की जो घटना है ये समाजवादी पार्टी के संरक्षित अपराधियों की दिन है। जो संभल के अपराधी हैं वो सब समाजवादी हैं। अखिलेश यादव जी को प्रदेश की देश की जनता से माफ़ी मांगनी चाहिए। हर स्थिति में हम वहाँ कानून के राज को मेंटेन करेंगे। और समाजवादी पार्टी के जो सांसद विधायक आपस में सिर फटौवल कर रहे हैं, अखिलेश यादव जी को पहले अपनी पार्टी को संभालना चाहिए, फिर कहीं राजनीतिक बयानबाजी करनी चाहिए। और ये उसको राजनीतिक पर्यटन समझ रहे हैं। हर स्थिति में हम प्रदेश को कानून का राज और बढ़िया देने वाले हैं और अपराधियों पर और कड़ाई की जाएगी। अंकुश,
संभल में जो घटना घटित हुई, उस घटना के अगर मुख्य अपराधी के रूप में देखा जाए तो वह समाजवादी पार्टी है। उपचुनाव में समाजवादी पार्टी की जो करारी पराजय हुई है, जो उनको जख्म लगा है, वह जख्म वो भुला नहीं पा रहे हैं। प्रतिनिधि मंडल समाजवादी पार्टी के माध्यम से भेजना यह एक नौटंकी है, वोट बैंक साधने की राजनीति है। समाजवादी पार्टी का सुपड़ा साफ होता जा रहा है, उनका वोट बैंक खिसक गया है। मैं श्री अखिलेश यादव जी और उनकी पार्टी के जो बच्चे खुचे सांसद विधायक हैं, कहूँगा अपनी पार्टी संभालो और संभल का माहौल या उत्तर प्रदेश का माहौल ख़राब करने की कोशिश मत करो। और जिस प्रकार से संभल की घटना घटित हुई है, वह कोई दंगे की जैसी स्थिति नहीं, वो समाजवादी पार्टी के सांसद और समाजवादी पार्टी के विधायकों के द्वारा जो वर्चस्व की जंग है कि मेरा वर्चस्व ज़्यादा है कि तेरा वर्चस्व ज़्यादा है, वह वर्चस्व की लड़ाई है, जिसके कारण से संभल में ये घटना घटित हुई है। अन्यथा कोर्ट के आदेश से शांतिपूर्ण ढंग से कमीशन की कार्रवाई हो रही थी, उसमें इस प्रकार के विवाद को पैदा करने का प्रयास करना यह पूरी तरह से गलत था।
Now, while prohibitory orders have been clamped in Sambhal district until the 10th of December, the Samajwadi Party leaders claim that they've been put under house arrest. In fact, this even as the DM of Sambhal has already sent a notice to the LOP of Uttar Pradesh urging the Samajwadi Party to not visit riot hit Sambhal district as the situation still remains volatile. Take a look at this ground report that's been filed from the Sambhal district.
संभल के बॉर्डर्स पर पुलिस अलर्ट है क्योंकि समाजवादी पार्टी के डेलीगेशन संभल कूच करने का आह्वान किया है। तस्वीरें आप देखेंगे, मुरादाबाद से संभल जाने वाली ये रोड है और यहाँ पर जो पुलिस का पैरा है वो कड़ा है। चाहे रॉन्ग साइड से कह लीजिए या इस मेन साइड से कह लीजिए, कोई भी गाड़ी अगर संभल में दाखिल हो रही है तो उसकी बाकायदा चेकिंग की जा रही है। उनसे पूछा जा रहा है कि आप संभल में क्या करने आ रहे हैं, आपका क्या रीज़न है, क्योंकि कहीं ना कहीं समाजवादी पार्टी की तरफ से ये आह्वान किया गया है कि वो संभल कूच करेंगे। तो जो भी गाड़ी संभल में दाखिल हो रही है उनके बारे में जो उनकी डिटेल्स है वो ली जा रही है, क्योंकि डेलीगेशन इस बात पर अड़ा है कि वो संभल में जाएंगे, जो लोग हैं जिनकी मौत हुई है उनसे वो लोग मुलाकात करेंगे। लेकिन एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन अलर्ट मोड पर है क्योंकि डीएम संभल ने 10 दिन का जो एक्सटेंशन है आउटसाइडर्स के संभल में आने का उसको लेकर बढ़ा दिया गया है, यानी कि 10 दिसंबर तक कोई भी शख्स आउटसाइडर संभल में प्रवेश नहीं करेगा। एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन की तरफ से साफ तौर पर बोला गया है कि बहुत मुश्किल से संभल शांति के रास्ते पर है। पिछले 5 दिनों में कोई भी ऐसी अप्रिय घटना नहीं हुई है, जिसको लेकर एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन लगातार पुरजोर काम कर रहा है। लेकिन इसी बीच अगर कोई डेलीगेशन यहाँ पर पहुँचता है और कहीं ना कहीं शांति भंग करने का काम उसमें किया जाता है तो उसको देखते हुए एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन अलर्ट है और आउटसाइडर्स जितनी भी गाड़ियाँ हैं उन सभी की चेकिंग यहाँ पर की जा रही है, वजह पूछी जा रही है और उसके बाद ही संभल में जो उसका प्रवेश है वो दिया जा रहा है। हालांकि अलग अलग जो नेता हैं वो अलग अलग रास्तों से संभल कूच करने की जो बात है वो करते नजर आ रहे हैं, लेकिन एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन का क्लियर कट निर्देश है कि संभल में BNS 163 इम्पोज की गई है। 4 से ज़्यादा लोग इकट्ठे नहीं हो सकते हैं। अगर ऐसी स्थिति होती है कि कोई भी धारा 163 का उल्लंघन करता है तो उनके खिलाफ कानूनी कार्रवाई जो नियमों के अनुसार बनती है वो की जाएगी। और लगातार एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ये अनुरोध भी कर रहा है सपा के डेलीगेशन से कि वो शांति बनाए रखने में संभल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन का सहयोग करें।
And news that we are tracking from down south, Cyclone Fungal that is to make landfall this evening. 5 southern states including Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu have been put on alert by the IMD. It's said that at least 20 flights have been cancelled as a precautionary measure, as incessant rainfall is likely to pound the coastal regions. The southern state of Tamil Nadu as well. And the IMD also issuing an advisory in the 5 states saying that all people are requested to stay indoors, especially in North Tamil Nadu, Visakhapatnam, Mahabalipuram, Chennai and Puducherry, in wake of the heavy rains that are expected to follow after the landfall. All right, let's take a look at this ground report that's been filed from Mahabalipuram that is also likely to be affected in wake of Cyclone Fungal that is to make landfall this evening.
As Cyclone Fungal will be making its landfall between Mahabalipuram and Puducherry, we have been seeing how massive rains, very heavy rainfall is being witnessed in various districts of Tamil Nadu and also in Puducherry. Well, as you can see right now, we are reporting from Mahabalipuram. As you can see, high tides, and also at the same time we see that fishermen have been asked not to venture out in the sea, and that is the reason why you see no one venturing in the sea right now. As you can see, very high tides being witnessed here as Cyclone Fungal will be making landfall at around 5:30 p.m. in the evening today, and also at the same time many areas have been issued red alert, and also at the same time SDRF teams have been deployed on ground at various locations where it is going to impact, and also SDRF teams have been also put on ground where we see that NDRF teams have been put on standby, and also massive high tides which we are witnessing right now. As you can see, this is the impact of Cyclone Fungal which will be making landfall between Mahabalipuram, as we are reporting from Mahabalipuram, and Cyclone Fungal will be making its landfall between Mahabalipuram and Puducherry. Well, now the state government has also issued red alert, and also at the same time the schools and colleges have been shut because of the heavy to very heavy rainfall in various districts which have been witnessed in the past 24 hours. And also we'll have to see how this Cyclone Fungal will be making its impact. Well, gusty winds have also been we have been seeing here at Mahabalipuram. This is Aneri Shah with Journalist for Republic TV.
And we have Aneri also who's joining us live right now. Aneri, talk to us about the precautionary measures that have been taken, the evacuations that are also taking place for people living along the coastal areas in Tamil Nadu.
That's right. We have been seeing that there is heavy to very heavy rainfall which is being continuously from last 24 hours, heavy rainfall in Tamil Nadu, various districts of Tamil Nadu and also in Puducherry. But right now, as we are reporting from Puducherry, as you can see how a rough sea here and high tides. This is all because of the impact of Cyclone Fungal, and also at the same time we have been seeing that the IMD has issued red alert, and it is also said that Cyclone Fungal is likely to make its landfall today later in the evening, and also this is going to be a deep depression which will later intensify into a cyclonic storm is what we are being told. The IMD has basically issued a red alert in various districts, and also the Chief Minister here has also been closely monitoring the situation where you can see all the basic precautionary measures have also been put in place. Schools and colleges have been shut. Fishermen have been asked not to venture out. SDRF, NDRF teams have been put on standby because this Cyclone Fungal is likely to have its impact on the major coastal area, and it's likely to make a landfall between Mahabalipuram and Puducherry, close to Puducherry basically, and that's the reason why we see all the tourists here, fishermen here have been asked not not to venture out in the sea because the sea is very rough, and that's the reason. And also there are helpline numbers which have been set up here for any sort of assistance, whereas we also see that there is heavy wind here at almost around 70 to 80 kilometers per hour, and it is likely to further increase to 90 kilometers per hour is what the IMD is predicting. And also there's red alert, heavy rains here in Puducherry, and also many of the flights in Tamil Nadu, including Puducherry and the Chennai airport, have been cancelled due to bad weather conditions.
Yes, Aneri, thank you for the moment. We will keep coming back to you through the day. For now, we switch focus to Newsbreak that is just coming in, while the top court has stayed trial court order on the survey that was ordered by the court of the Sambhal mosque. We are getting details of the legal affidavit that's been filed by the Archaeological Survey of India in the Sambhal court. Details that we have of this affidavit that's been filed in the lower court, in the Sambhal court, in which the ASI says that there is obstruction on part of the Jama Masjid. They've accused the mosque committee of obstructing their work. In the affidavit that's been filed in the Sambhal court, the ASI says that Jama Masjid, which is a protected monument since 1920, has been difficult to inspect due to interference from the mosque panel. So these are the details that we have of that affidavit that's been filed by the Archaeological Survey of India in the Sambhal court. The ASI says that there is obstruction on part of the mosque committee, and that the ASI is not being allowed to do its work. And that's all we have for you in this edition of our broadcast. But once we come back, we'll get you that statement that was made by Congress MLC from Maharashtra, who says that EC, who used a derogatory word for the poll panel. We'll get you more on that, as the BJP now demands action and has now written to the Election Commission over those remarks made by the Congress leader.
ये थी याचिका थी, वो ये थी कि 50% ये होना चाहिए उसका, ये वीवीपैट गिनने चाहिए, पर सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने 5% कहा। जो प्रत्याशी, जो कैंडिडेट जिसको डाउट है कि भाई ये पॉकेट में मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि गड़बड़ है, ऐसे 5% आप मशीन्स उसमें आप उसकी ये कर सकते हैं और वो गिनना चाहिए।
In the India Today Best Universities 2023 survey, India's #1 ranked universities in various streams are JNU Delhi, Amity University, AIMS Delhi, IIT Delhi, and National Law School Bengaluru.
सॉरी डॉक्टर। मनी, सफीना, शादी कैसी चल रही है?
मैं बताएगी। आइस बोला था लाने को, लद्दाख चला गया। पूछा फोन पे इतना बिजी क्यों है, तो क्या बोला तू? हाँ, माउंटेन्स वर कॉलिंग। इतना पहाड़ों के साथ गुलू गुलू करेगा तो धोपतुएंगी ना इसको।
डॉक्टर जहांगीर, मैं उड़ना चाहता हूँ, दौड़ना चाहता हूँ, बस इस घर में रुकना नहीं चाहता।
बट क्यों?
उस दिन सनसेट देखने छज्जे पे चढ़ा, टूट गया। I don't feel safe.
हाँ, तू किसने बोला घर की दीवार पे रॉक क्लाइंबिंग करने को?
सफीना, बदतमीजी।
समझ गया। मेरे पास आप दोनों की प्रॉब्लम की मेडिसिन है। इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रूंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रूंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग शिप भी बन सकती है।
These issues have been raised repeatedly during the week, with the result that we have already lost 3 days working. The loss of time, the loss of opportunity, the loss of opportunity by not having question hour.
This week on Get Me Right, Are the Muslims as a community coming out of the shadows of ulema? Have the Muslim women and the community youth decided to let politics become secular finally? Also, a focus on the national shame of Delhi breathing poison for a month every winter. For how long the political establishment would surrender to the stubble-burning mafia. And finally, a look at the phenomenon of tech bros, the bunch of tech billionaires who have their fingers on the future of human civilization. Join me this weekend only on Republic TV.
Congress leader Bhai Jagtap uses derogatory remarks against EC. He calls poll panel a quote-unquote pet dog. BJP files a complaint.
लोकतंत्र ज्यादा पुख्ता करने के लिए, मजबूत करने के लिए चुनाव आयोग है. जो भी नेताओं के दबाव में आके अगर वो काम कर रहा है तो बिल्कुल मेरा कहना सही है और बिल्कुल हम माफी नहीं मांगेंगे.
First he insults the poll panel, then the Congress leader remains unapologetic. As summer limps back to normalcy, SP tries to reignite the fire. Outsiders barred in Sambhal till the 10th of December. Samajwadi team heads to Sambhal, gets detained. RSS sends a strong message to the Yunus government, says stop atrocities on Hindus immediately. Release ISKCON monk from jail. Chennai airport shut. Indigo among several flights suspended ahead of landfall near Puducherry.